We are talking about planning the 3 things you need to be doing for the month of March in order to move forward with your personal journey to get your mojo, your plus 50 mojo ignited or reignited. That's what we're doing today. I'm Vicki Flower. Thank you for coming live. Going to be doing this daily. That is one of my goals that I'll be talking with you about. And I'm really new to TikTok going live. So be patient with me. But we're going to try to have some fun, okay? Now, first off, I would like to kind of address maybe the elephant in the room, right? Very serious things are happening in the world right now, and I fully recognize the severity of that. So I don't want this video to be perceived, because I'm happy as a person in my life, feeling so privileged and lucky and blessed. Even as I share my gifts with other people and donations, etc., we have to separate the idea that we have to, our cup has to be full before we can help another. And so the importance of self-care, the importance of planning, of feeling organized, of being able to contribute in a way out into this world that works for you, super important. So I don't want my general demeanor. My set point is happy. And people come to TikTok, and one of the things you'll learn, I'm learning, since my Year to Rich kickoff back in January, entertainment is a soothing thing when people are under distress. So please understand that so is organization for a lot of people, myself included. And so if you do have big plans to go out into the world and help with whatever you believe in, right? Whatever it is you're an advocate for, you volunteer for, the message that you have in your life and your story that you're here to tell, then those things, it matters how well you can do that. And that is supportive to everyone. So starting message straight out, what you do matters to help yourself, to love yourself, to be able to share that calmness and confidence with others. And that can mean personal planning. And that's what we're talking about today. Okay, so one of the first things you can do when you're planning for your months, and you can break it down. You can do a year, you can do a week, you can do a day, what works for you. But one of the things I like about monthly planning, I have a general idea. I have a year to rich, right? I have a whole idea for myself what I want to be doing that I've devoted to. It's like a little mini project, an experimental laboratory thing I'm living. Well, the monthly goals then for me as a project manager, I break it down. But I've had a revelation about my planning. And so this is the first tip. Ask questions, right? Think more in terms of play and curiosity instead of simply problem solving. Okay? Think about how you go about things. Think about the time and space that you give to planning, right? Do you think it's just luxury to be doing these exercises? That's a question, right? And if you've struggled in the past, and I don't know that many people who haven't. So, I certainly have. I have struggled in the past with making a plan and keeping to it, right? Yeah, and we all have our reasons. So why not ask the reasons? Why not try to discover that? And I do not mean going down a rabbit hole. No. What I mean instead is ask the questions that make you curious, that make you interested, that make you eager to find, because that eagerness is what's going to help you. The curiosity is going to drive you farther than just straight, pure, hardcore, knock it out motivation. Cause that stuff wanes. Okay. So, all right. So first tip for good planning and to be your best self so you can be out in the world doing your thing, then that's to ask questions using curiosity rather than problem solving as your lead. Okay. All right. I'm going to take a sip, take a breath. I'm still learning how to do these, so thank you for your patience with me as I do. All right, so other thing is give yourself permission to think in whatever size you want to think from a planning perspective. What do I mean by that? This is our tip two, and maybe it could be its whole own video just talking about this topic. This is especially important for us as we're aging, all right? As we're 50 plus, and that's really who we're talking about here, is I want to reach a community, and build and be part of a community where 50 plus individuals who still think their mojo is important, right? Who still want to have fire in their hearts about life. Or maybe it's probably not the same fire that you had in your teens and your 20s, your 25s, even your 40s, right? You know, and COVID has really touched us. It's changed us. There's a lot of technology has changed us, right? But in many ways we're not changed, but in lots of ways we are. And so it's kind of, the whole 50 is the new 30. I do think there's some validity to that, just because we're living so much longer, but also we have a lot of contribution and opportunity to make for our own wellness, both mental, I'm declining any join-ins for now. I'm going to get confident about this, but thank you. I'm glad you're here. We are talking to a 50 plus audience about how to have happiness, more wealth, and more health in life. And so we're talking about planning for March. One of the first questions we've already discussed is to ask questions. Another is to make time and space for your reflections about what you want to accomplish for the month. And then really to give yourself permission to ask whatever question, however size question you want, whether that's big or small. So if you're the type of person that your head's always in the clouds, and if you've been criticized for this, I'm really sorry. But the bottom line is some of us has been, and some of us have to manage that, right? We have to manage our balance between practical application, getting things done, getting shit done, right? That, and also dreaming and brainstorming and imagining. And sometimes even just thinking about something can be fun. And even learning to not pressure yourself to say, well, that was just a fun exercise, mental exercise, or that would be nice for the future, but not necessarily I'm going to go do that thing, right? And so sorting that out. So give yourself permission to think and dream and envision for your planning, as small as you want to and as large as you want to. So I'll share with you my three goals, and they may feel small to you, but I have learned that consistency from myself, from my personality, and maybe it's you too, that consistency is super helpful in developing my creativity around something, and developing my commitment and eagerness to go do things around it is just a little bit like I'm learning Italian. I do everything I can to have it's a daily practice. Meditation, it's a daily practice. I thrive in that environment. Now, if you don't, and you're totally motivated and I'm a burster, right? Yeah, maybe you do too. So that consistency helps me moderate some of maybe the challenges with my bursting behaviors. I see this is all about getting to know yourself and knowing what you need right now to move forward in your journey. So that's really what I want. That's why number one step is to ask questions. That's why number two is to make time and space for it, right? To ask the questions, to give yourself time to hear the answers, and then go figure out what you're going to do about it. And then also to give yourself permission. This is the third thing. And this is what I'm going to wrap up with. Give yourself permission to do small. So my 3 goals is to go live daily, right? For the month of March, I want to go here daily. I haven't decided the time, haven't decided if I'm always going to do it at a certain time, but I really want to start having the conversation about igniting your mojo, 50 plus, all right? Healthier, wealthier, happier life. That's go live. That's a pretty small task, really, for at least I would like to shoot for 10 minutes. That's my goal. Then my second, I'm looking at my notes, is I want a larger goal is, and it's probably too big. I probably need to break it down, is to build a product, is to an ebook or a video series or a coaching offering, something like that. So people who want to talk to me one-on-one about their life and getting their mojo fired up for their 50s and beyond, I'd love to have that conversation. So that's something I'm going to do. Right? Okay, great. All right. And then health journey, my health journey. I've lost 50 pounds. I'm continuing to up my game on my appearance and the things I'm doing, my exercise program and all of that. And so, that's another thing. That's a little bit big. So I'll probably get very specific, longer than I'm going to share here exactly what the steps were. A couple things that will be like a measure that I'm doing that. Okay. So what about you? Okay. You know your mission for today. And again, I want to reiterate that self-care is not a luxury. Having dreams and vision, even, especially in a world of darkness, is important. You cannot overlook this fact. You just cannot. You gotta, mental health is important. And if you're struggling with it, you need to get help. You need to find what works for you. Please reach out, find out what works for you. I have found for me, there's specific things I can do to help myself feel better, and feeling better is helpful. And so whatever that means to you, and planning is one of those things that eases my mind. I don't know. Let's see. What about you? Couple things you can do to help me as I build this community is to share this video, to save the video. Those are the two most important. One, come live and watch. And, I don't know if you can save it. You might not be able to because you have to be here live. But here's the thing I'm going to do. I'm going to record these and put them over on YouTube. That's one of the things I'm going to do next. All right. So I want you to be able to enjoy these live videos and make sure you can go and find them again, even when they expire here on TikTok. So, all right. It's been great to go live. Looking forward to being live with you daily for the next month. Share your goals. If you got them, share your questions, share the video, share me, befriend me. Let's keep this conversation about being on fire for life in our 50s and beyond so we can have a better life, healthier, wealthier, happier. That's what I'm all about. All right. I don't know. See, this happened last time too. I don't know how to stop, but I'm going to give it a go. Let's see. There we are. Thank you for spending time with me today. I love that we are connected. And, tell me about your plans. Let's share. Let's support each other. Ciao for today.